Okay, day 123.5. This will be short, but I did want to add now the expert opinion, which is Deep Uranium. Deep Uranium, if you recall, started our series off, or at least me going on the road, kind of chasing down the theory that the uranium rat lines in Kazakhstan was also the drug and rat lines leading down to Pakistan, which was the arms and weapons rat line, all going to supply ISIS weapons. I didn't believe half of that when I started this. The closer I get in this examination or investigation, the more I believe Deep Uranium was right. Again, people that are involved in military see different parts of the story. I think Jason's guest the other night, Gunnar, said that. These are access programs that are specialized and compartmentalized. No one person is an expert in all things. Now is not the time to be impugning the knowledge of any expert. It's to listen and take all expertise in and allow it to inform the story. Having said that, Deep Uranium was involved in this Lake Pontchartrain listening center. Okay, and some of this information is still classified, so it's I don't obviously know exactly where he was, but here was the Navy location that then the University of New Orleans purchased. And then, of course, look at what is right next to it is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, right there. Now, my dad was in Signal Corps. What they normally do is put the listening station out here in the perimeter. They call it a perimeter, and that's where this was. This was a barrage balloon place in World War II to protect New Orleans, but also to protect the Mississippi River and the southern underbelly of the United States. Okay, that made a lot of sense. So there's an umbrella that usually, or a perimeter that is guarded here. It made total sense then that that also became the civil defense station where all the weapons were cached, as well as food in case there was an attack by a foreign group, that you could rush to Huma here and then cut off. There's a city even named Cut Off. You could cut off the enemy at the shoreline, and then in any amphibious operation, you want to cut off the enemy at the shoreline so then that you can corner them and push them back into the sea. You don't want them taking your key strategic lines of communication or key materiel, roads, and so forth. So it made sense that this was the key listening post here. Now, Deep Uranium wouldn't tell me whether Huma was the spot. There was a chuckle on the phone, so I don't know if that's where the listening post actually is, but I do know that directional antennas and so forth, over the horizon radar, etc., it would just make sense to put it in the same place where you already have land, where you already have tunnels dug, and there is this kind of a cover here for things coming and going. You can say, hey, if you're the supply sergeant, if you're the quartermaster, you can say, yeah, that supply's getting old, let's throw it out. And I actually read an article to that effect too, Deep Uranium. He said that's exactly how it works. So there would be a cover here moving things back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If you were staging if you were like General Grange, or like a Libya operation like Andrew McCabe did at FBI for Syria, you could stage a whole set of ships here and basically go down to Venezuela and stage a coup very easily from Huma. But it may make sense to have some kind of other event over here, taking everyone's attention away from Huma when the train goes to the FBI here and loads up all the ships for going the other direction. If you were doing a coup in Venezuela, again, I believe there is a coup afoot right now in Venezuela, and I do believe this stuff is coming from this Huma site, looking at after having seen all the articles about it. So that's just one way that experts can help inform the discussion. The crowd helps, and actually having people who live there, and then just talking about the general surroundings and so forth, and then talking about the commercial applications, which are the offshore drilling, etc., and then someone who is involved in this Navy operation right here and actually work there and can inform the discussion. So I thought that was interesting how close the FBI was here. Braverman also checked his email when we were kind of looking for him before he had kind of surfaced, and he had surfaced somewhere here in the New Orleans area, either between Baton Rouge or New Orleans, I believe. So was that the place that Braverman was kind of hiding out while there was that 100 days where we couldn't find him? Interesting speculation. That's version 5 for today.